Hello, 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 and welcome back to Wild Hearts. You join me now in the far, far future. This is even more future than the previous Me from the Future videos because I actually did the final weapon first impressions for the Karakuri staff. I then watched that video back and I was like, man, I did a terrible job of explaining this weapon. So I've decided now, after like sort of actually using the weapon in a lot of hunts, and I'm a little bit more proficient with it. I say a little bit, I really do mean only a little bit. But yeah, I figured it would be better to show now. So yeah, this is the Karakuri staff. It's the final weapon that we have in the base game of Wild Hearts. I don't know, as I say, I don't know whether they'll add any more. I hope they do because, like, I think all of the weapons in this game have actually been fantastic so far. But anyways, Karakuri staff. This weapon is a staff. You're probably thinking to yourself, looks quite basic, huh? See, this weapon has a little bit of a gimmick, and that gimmick is, now it's tonfas. Now it's, shuriken. Now it's a halberd. And then it's back to a staff again. There is one more form as well, which I'll show you in a bit. But basically, you can mutate between all these different forms on the fly, and that is basically how the weapon is meant to be played. With the goal being to fill up a bar in the bottom left. I don't know if you can see it because there's some writing that covers it in the recordings for some reason, maybe. But when you fill the bar up to halfway or more, you can morph your weapon one more time into a different final form, which you will hopefully get to see when we hunt. Oh, you guessed it. It's gonna be the silly rat thing again. This is, I guess it's kind of, it's not first impressions, because obviously I've played a bit with this. But, okay, he's just outside. We used a tower to locate him. Yeah, hopefully you will see fairly quickly what this weapon is about. This weapon has unique mutation attacks off of boxes and springs and stuff. I can show you the box and the spring. I'm not going to show you anything else, otherwise that's kind of spoiler territory. Basically, I'm not going to use anything that I haven't already discovered in the in my playthrough currently. Oh, also, actually, this is the other DLC armor. You get it bundled with the first one when you get the Digital Deluxe upgrade. I don't like this one as much, but I figured I'd show it anyways, just so you can see what it looks like. Right. So, let's see what we can do here. So, we enter combat, staff, but then we can morph into a dual blades. Then we can morph into the shuriken. Now, whoa. If you get roared or anything like that, you go back into staff form, or sheathed form, should I say. A little bit of shuriken action there. I could have morphed after that attack. Just going to do a spear thrust hit. Just going to real quick. Well, I'll do a box attack there. Hopefully, I'm going to do a spring attack in a minute as well once it charges past me. And there's the spring attack. Ugh, blizzard. We now have enough to transform our weapon. So, let's see if we can do that. And it's a great sword. It does a lot of damage. The final hit, if you can get it to maximum stacks, is one of the most damaging attacks in the entire game. So yeah, depending on what button I push when I go into different attacks, I have different mutation combos, basically, and they can take me into different forms of the Karakuri staff. So, so if I push square when I unsheath my weapon, I will do this double staff attack, which leads me into the staff, obviously. If I push triangle, it takes me straight into the shuriken. Now, obviously, off of those, you then have different mutations. So, off of the staff, it goes into dual blades. Or, off of the shuriken, it goes into the spear. So on, so forth. You can also change between them at will as well, if you need a specific attack for a specific situation. And sometimes you will. But yeah, it's worth mentioning, any attacks that you do utilizing any of your Karakuri, i.e. your boxes, your springs, whatever else you happen to unlock, they will get you 2 stacks on your bar instead of 1. So, mutating your weapon and hitting the kimono, so if I do that and then I hit the kimono with that Tonfa strike, that will get me 1 stack. But if I hit it with a like a box attack and then mutate and hit, it gets me 2. Oh, that was me being terrible. Well, that was also me being terrible. But there is a bunch of really cool stuff you can do. Go on, hit the box. That's what I thought. Ah, it's hitting me. That's terrible. We can't have this. Whoa. Okay. Go. So some weapon forms are fast, some weapon forms are slow. It's up to you to discover which ones you want to use at any given time. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And some of them are really good at covering distance, like that one. It's worth mentioning as well. If we can get him to do a big attack. Nice. I'm just going to real quick do this. Okay, he dodged out the big swing there, that's annoying. But you can do big sword attacks off of boxes and springs as well to change the animation. The hitbox is quite generous on certain attacks with this weapon. Oop, that didn't attack when I told it to there. A little bit annoying. And he's running. Okay. Wow. There was probably something I could have picked up in that previous area. That's very bad practice of me. But I think you're starting to get the idea of the weapon. You want to sort of cycle through all of the different weapon forms. You don't necessarily have to do it in one big fluid combo. You can kind of just do, like, you know, staff into dual blades, then sheath your weapon, reposition, do a shuriken into a spear, sheath your weapon, reposition, so on and so forth. As long as you don't take too long in between getting your stacks on your meter, it won't disappear. If you do take too long, all of your stacks will vanish and you have to start again. But it's okay, because do not underestimate the Karakuri staff without the great sword. Like, it's genuinely just like a powerful weapon, even on its own. Whoa. Hello? Oh, I glitched. Ooh, nice uppercut there. We're going to follow that with a hit against the tail, and boom, it's gone. I didn't get to show you the full charge there, but honestly, I actually think that that might be better saved for your own gameplay, or in the video when I eventually pick up this weapon, which I'm sure I will, in the main series, should I say, outside of the tutorial. Oh, I was inside the monster there, but used the big old greatsword to take it down. It's worth mentioning as well, whilst we're loading back into camp, if it will let me. Come on. It's worth mentioning, you can use the greatsword even if you don't have any stacks on your meter, it's just very slow. It still deals okay damage. It's nowhere near as good as it would be if you had mutation stacks, though. So, like, if you have a really big opening and you don't have any mutation stacks, it's kind of your choice with as to whether you want to build up stacks by using the small weapon form to, like, get lots of stacks to then use the more powerful greatsword, or whether you want to just go into a small greatsword swing. Sometimes you don't have enough time to do any of that, and you just sort of have to wing it and sort of work out your own way of dealing damage. Honestly, though, you really don't need the greatsword to be great at the Karakuri staff. Like, you can eliminate Kimono fairly quickly just using the basic staff forms. Obviously, when you do master that greatsword, you will truly, like, start to deal some really impressive damage, but like, don't underestimate it, just as it basically is. I would say, like, be very cautious of the staff's basic attacks. They can be a little bit slow, and they take a little bit of time to recover from. I would also say be a little bit wary of the shuriken's basic attack, because, again, it's quite janky, and it will take a little bit of time to recover from. As a matter of fact, actually, same goes for the spear. Actually, this attack as well, quite slow. So just sort of like be very aware of your like openings and timings. I didn't do like a phenomenal job there of evading out of the way of the kimono, but yeah, this was the weapon that I thought I was going to end up maining for the entire series when I saw all the trailers and stuff for it. But actually what's wound up happening is I still cannot make my mind up. I like all of them. I like every single weapon. I mean, the cannon really isn't my playstyle, so I don't think that is ever really going to be a contender for me. But all of the other ones, including the hammer and including the bladed wagasa, are all in the running. I really friggin' like them. So, like, yeah, you'll probably see me switch my weapon up a fair bit during the playthrough. I don't know. Maybe I'll settle on something, but it remains to be seen. The playthrough is still very early in sort of all the filming at the moment, so because I'm doing the playthrough a little bit differently, I'm going to be, I'll explain it in a different video actually. But yeah, this has been the Karakuri staff, which completes the weapons in the base game, basically. It's a great addition. It's a really powerful weapon. Really, really powerful. And I'd highly recommend you give it a go as soon as you can. Yeah, that's about all I have to say on it, really. So yeah, this has been the Karakuri staff. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Farewell.